Meet the Dreame L40s Ultra, the robot vacuum and mop that actually handles real-life messes. With 19,000 pascal suction, it lifts flour, cereal, and pet hair with no tangles thanks to its dual brushes. Edge-to-edge cleaning? Yep, its arms reach corners most vacuums miss. The mop lifts on carpets, climbs thick rugs, and dodges cords with smart obstacle avoidance. And the best part? The dock empties dust, refills water, washes and dries the mop pads with hot water, and it's all totally hands-free. The Dreame L40s Ultra. Clean floors with zero effort. So I've been using the Dreame L40s Ultra for a few weeks now, and it's been doing a great job at keeping my house clean. I've been having it run every day on schedule, and it's keeping the pet hair, the dust, debris, all at bay. And big thanks to Dreame for sending this unit over for review. Now starting with the unboxing, it does feel like a premium experience. The packaging looks great and everything is perfectly organized inside. Inside the box, we do have a quick start guide to get you started and set up, a ramp so the robot vacuum can get into the docking station, a thick user manual so you can learn all the ins and outs of the unit, a beefy power cable with a good length, 2 magnetic mopping pads, an extra dust bag for dust collection in the base station, a floor cleaning solution for mopping the floors and getting them nice and clean, as well as the Dreame L40 Ultra robot vacuum and mop and the base station. Now instantly what I noticed the second I took everything out of the box was the amazing design of the base station and the robot vacuum. It just looks so elegant and looks like it belongs in my house. Now as far as getting it set up, it was actually an extremely simple and straightforward process. All you have to do is set up the base station and plug it into power, download the Dreame Home app on your phone, scan the QR code that's on the L40s Ultra robot vacuum. It walks you through the steps of setting up the Wi-Fi connection. Then you simply place the magnetic mopping pads on the bottom of the unit, place it inside the base station, fill up the base station with clean water and cleaning solution, and just like that, you're ready to go in under 5 minutes. And once you have everything set up and ready to go, the first thing you gotta do is map out your area. And the good news is it features Pathfinder multi-floor mapping, so you can map up to 4 floors, so it'll be able to clean every floor in your house. Now personally, I don't have 4 floors, but if I did, I guess I'd be covered. Using this technology, it's able to map out your entire area quickly and efficiently, so it can map out its cleaning perimeter, so it can plan its cleaning route and make sure it cleans every area of your floor without cleaning a certain area more than it needs to. It went to all the different ends of the floor and made sure to get everything mapped out, so it can do a great job at getting everything clean without going over the same spot more than it needs to. This will help the robot vacuum save time and energy when it's cleaning up the floor later. And of course, as things happen to change around your house, it'll constantly remap as it's cleaning to make sure nothing is missed later on. In case you happen to move a couch out of the way and there happens to be a big open space, it's like, oh, I guess I'll just add that to the map since it's a new area. Now on to cleaning. The vacuum does feature a powerful 9,000 pascals of suction power, so it'll be able to suck up all dust, debris, pet hair, you name it that happens to be on the floor without a problem. If you happen to have kids running around your house making a mess, maybe they spilled cereal, no problem whatsoever, it'll definitely vacuum it up. Now if you happen to be baking a cake and spill flour on the floor, you don't have to clean that up either, it'll come by and vacuum it up. It makes everything so much simple. Basically drop something on the floor and forget it. Wait for the vacuum to take care of it. This of course does work well on both hard floors and carpet, and when it comes to carpet, that 9,000 pascals of suction does a great job at sucking up all the invisible dust and debris and pet hair that is embedded in the carpet that you can't see with your naked eye. And trust me, I thought my carpets were clean, but once the L40s Ultra ran over the carpet and vacuumed everything up, I was like, wow, it is actually full. And one of the best things about that, it's actually very quiet as far as a vacuum is considered while it's vacuuming everything up, which is very impressive. Now, as I mentioned before, and as you could probably tell with all the pet hair that is literally on this couch, I do happen to have a cat that sheds literally everywhere. So the good news is the L40s Ultra features a Hyperstream detangling duo brush that has 2 brushes built in, 1 TPU and 1 bristled. One is made for carpet and one is made for hard floors, and combining them together gives you a nice anti-tangle design. Whether you have long hair from a human or just pet hair all over the house, it's gonna suck it up, not get tangled up, so you have to cut it out manually, so that way it'll always be ready to suck up more debris without being clogged. Now something that's really impressive with the L40s Ultra that even a regular manual vacuum has trouble with is cleaning in the corners. Now obviously in the corners sometimes stuff's stuck there and the vacuum can't get over there, whether it's robot or manual, and you have to go grab it out with your hand and then vacuum it up after the fact. The L40s Ultra features dual flex arm technology, which will allow for edge-to-edge cleaning. This side reach side brush will actually extend into the corners and along the baseboards to clean every inch of your floor without an issue. And on top of that, the Mop Extend mopping pad will actually swing out into the corners and crevices in order to get all those harder to reach places to make sure every inch is perfectly clean, whether it be vacuumed or mopped. And if that wasn't impressive enough, the mopping pad and side brush will actually also lift up when it's not being used to, for example, avoid wetting carpet with the mopping pad when you don't need to mop your carpet, obviously. So think about it like this. You need to mop the kitchen floor, but the side brush is there. It lifts up the side brush and then mops the floor, so that way it's not gonna vacuum up the liquid to keep everything nice and clean and get everything exactly where it needs to be. And then on the other hand, like I said, once it goes over to carpet, it's gonna lift up the mopping pads so it doesn't wet the carpet, and instead it'll vacuum the carpet just like it's supposed to. But even on top of that, the mopping pads being magnetic, they can actually be dropped down in the base station when they're not being needed for mopping, so that way there is no chance of anything happening with your carpet when it comes to the mopping pads. Now that right there is actually a really good feature that I am very grateful to have in this unit, because for example, I could send it to go clean carpet, and since it's not gonna need the mops, it'll just leave the mopping pads in the unit and go vacuum on its merry way. Perfect, right? Now, if you happen to have some floors that aren't even, maybe you have a thick rug or there's a lip between two sections of your floor, because I happen to have that. For some reason, I have two sets of tile. One side is one color, one side's the other color, and then there's a lip in the way to separate them for whatever reason. I don't like that, and it definitely does get in the way with some robot vacuums. With the L40s Ultra has no problem with that because it has the Easy Leap system that can tackle thick rugs and raise thresholds by climbing up to 1.57 inches without bumping or getting stuck. That way it can clean your entire house without having you intervene and saying, hey, I got stuck, can you lift me up over that threshold? It just does it all by itself, which is very impressive. Now, as you know, there is no house that is perfectly clean and the floor is completely, okay, there probably is, but my house is not one of those. There's always toys laying around. Sometimes the animals poop somewhere by accident. I'm assuming it's an accident because I'm pretty sure they don't have anything against me, but it happens, okay? And the thing is, with some robot vacuums, it just looks at it and it's like, oh, I better clean that. And it just goes right over it. And then you have to take apart the robot vacuum because all the poop is just in there and you have to, it's a disaster. I hope you never have to deal with it, and I hope I never have to deal with it again. But the good news is the Dreame L40s Ultra does feature 3D Adapt Smart Obstacle Avoidance. So whether it be cords, toys, furniture legs, animal feces, there is no problem because it'll use a 3D structured light to detect and steer around obstacles without crashing or going through stuff that it should definitely avoid. And even if it's not as bad as poop, there are so many times I've had a robot vacuum eat up some power cables. It gets all tangled up in the mop and in the roller brush, and then it's like, hey, I'm stuck over here. I can't do anything because I can't move. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't move? And then I go find it, I'm like, it ate the power cable again. So with the L40s Ultra, it does a great job at avoiding that, so that is a non-issue. And then finally, one of my favorite features is the all-in-one power dock base station that not only looks amazing, but it also has a bunch of different features and functions for making your life so much easier when it comes to cleaning your home. So the first thing is, once the robot vacuum returns to the base station, it'll automatically suck out everything from the dustbin of the robot vacuum so you don't have to do that manually, and it'll put it inside of the disposable bag, which makes everything so much easier. It'll also refill the mop water along with the cleaning solution into the robot vacuum so it can mop the floors and keep everything nice and clean with fresh water, and it'll even wash the mopping pads with hot water and dry it with hot air after it's done cleaning the floor to kill bacteria and germs and keep everything from smelling, and everything will be as clean as possible. Really, the only manual thing you have to do with the power dock is every so often. For me, it's like 6 to 9 months because my house isn't that dirty, but you do have to remove and replace the disposable dust bag, which is a simple process that takes like 10 seconds, and then dump out the dirty water and refill with clean water every so often so it's always ready to mop. But other than that, it's literally hands-free. So all in all, the Dreame L40s Ultra is a fantastically designed and functional robot vacuum and mop that takes the hassle out of cleaning your home. It simply maps out the area, you can set the perimeters and schedule for it to clean, whether it be vacuum, mopping, or both, and it'll do the job for you while you sleep or while you're at work, whatever you happen to choose. The suction is powerful, the mop heads are great at cleaning the floor, and I love how the side brush and the mopping pad actually extends out to get into crevices and into corners so it can clean everything that's normally missed by other robot vacuums. If you want to pick one up for yourself and make cleaning your house and keeping it clean so much easier, I'll throw the link down below in the description along with a special discount code so you can save some moolah when you go pick up one of these Dreame L40s Ultras and add it to your home. And like I said, It looks amazing, it works amazingly, and it's just a pleasure to have.